I'm hearing news that Shakur Stevenson could be making his return to the sport of boxing in February, and who knows who it's going to be against, because I'm hearing rumors that Zepeda broke his hand, so he could be out of the conversation as an opponent for Shakur Stevenson. And Shakur is saying, now maybe let's go in the direction of Floyd Schofield. And, you know, as Kid Austin had that interesting performance where, yeah, he showed that he could deal with adversity, but definitely didn't look his best. It was a tough opponent that he faced, but, you know, did get dropped. And it would just be an interesting fight because obviously Shakur Stevenson, he's not known for the power, but he's known for the defensive ability, you know, keeping these fights on his terms and keeping an opponent on the outside where he can't really land shots. You know, get shots landed on him and he can get in range to land his own. So I think Shakur Stevenson is, you know, we all know what he is. We all know how good he is. He's a very defensive fighter. Not the most exciting fighter in the sport of boxing, but he's definitely one of the most talented when it comes to that radar, when it comes to that measuring stick and you know, understanding distance against offensive fighters. He's definitely special, you know, there's no doubt about that. But we'll see who he's going to be fighting. Let me know in the comments down below who you guys think Shakur should be fighting next. I think we can all agree that we want to see the Tank fight, but it's not very realistic because apparently Tank's still fighting Lamont Roach in March, which I don't really get. I thought that they canceled the fight because it was originally scheduled for the end of this year, but they're moving it to March. I thought that they were going to choose a new opponent, go in a different direction because it wasn't received well by the boxing community, this Lamont Roach fight for Tank, but they're going through with it. You know, a smaller fighter, Tank's going to get a lot of criticism, but as long as he continues to show out, people are going to come see him. And I think after this fight, you know, I'm really hoping he gets a big name in there, a very competitive name like Shakur Stevenson. I think is the most realistic fight for him when it comes to 135, because that's the fight that we ultimately need to see, because that's best versus the best. So Shakur and Tank is obviously the priority, but it has to be on the back burner because obviously Shakur's coming off a hand injury. We all saw the viral footage of Shakur doing sparring, hit his sparring partner to the body and hurt his hand. So that makes things a lot more difficult for Shakur Stevenson because you guys got to think about it. Shakur was already known to not have the most power in the sport of boxing. He wasn't a knockout artist by any means. Shakur's known for that radar, measuring the distance, being a defensively sound fighter when it comes to the fundamentals, and you know, that whole hit and not get hit mentality. He's the master of that right now in the sport of boxing. But with an injured hand, how does he respond to, you know, obviously trying to throw power, but also in the back of his mind, he's thinking, I can't hurt my hand again. He's almost in that situation where Floyd was, but Floyd had already accomplished more at this point in Shakur's career. So it's just tough for Shakur. I'm not trying to sound like discouraging, but it's the truth. You know, Shakur's dealing with some adversity right now. So he's gonna have to, you know, overcome that and, you know, hope that health-wise, he's going to be fine throughout his training camp, and most importantly in that fight, he doesn't hurt his hand. So it's going to be interesting. I'm interested to see how Shakur responds to dealing with an injury, overcoming that injury in the ring, and you know, if he's going to be able to even sit on his shots, because it's not like he was throwing them really hard to begin with. He doesn't really go for the knockout in any of his fights, but especially now after a hand injury, how is he going to respond in the ring? There's a lot of unanswered questions, even for a guy of Shakur Stevenson's caliber. You know, he's definitely going to be as defensively sound, but when he's throwing these shots, is he going to be more cautious with that? You know, is he going to be more cautious in general with throwing these shots, knowing in the back of his mind, I might hurt my hand again? You know, that's how boxing is. No one's ever 100% in the boxing ring. That's just the way it's always been, and that's the way it's going to be. Injuries happen. You know, you're going to have at least some soreness, despite, you know, people saying this is the best training camp of my life. I had a great training camp with all my coaches. None of these fighters are 100%. I say that time and time again. But Shakur Stevenson, definitely a specimen, you know, when it comes to defense. I've been very critical of him, you know, blaming his opponents for not wanting to engage or not wanting to fight, when in actuality, you know, he's the more defensive fighter. And I always think that Shakur should let his hands go more, because he is a great defensive fighter. He's probably the best in the sport right now when it comes to defensive IQ, but I just really get frustrated when I'm like, I see opportunities where he could let his hands go and look really good. But, you know, maybe he just needs a better opponent to bring the best version of him out. But ultimately, I really need to see that Tank fight to really determine how good Shakur Stevenson is and how good Tank is. That's just the reality of it. We need to see the best fighting the best, and at 135, it's got to be Shakur and Tank. That's the biggest fight to make in the sport of boxing right now. In terms of who's the best, I think that fighter goes on to, become, world champ even at 40 and potentially even 47. I think Tank could fight at 47 with his level of power and ability and IQ. So both of these guys have the skills to pay the bills, but the thing is that Tank has power. So that's what makes me favor Tank over Shakur. But let me know in the comments who you guys want to see Shakur against. Obviously, we want to see the Tank fight, but if we can't get that, do we want Floyd Schofield in there? Do we want the Zepeda fight? Should Shakur wait for Zepeda or go straight to Kid Austin? So let me know in the comments what you guys think. Thank you guys for watching. Like, comment, and subscribe. I'll catch you guys on the next Nabs Boxing video. Peace. That's going to do it for another Nabs Fight Media video, guys. Thank you guys so much for watching. It's been your boy, Matt Nabong, with another video. Hope you guys enjoyed it all. Thank you guys for the constant support. Salute to y'all always. It's been your boy.